right, it looks like it is 5:30, I think. So we're going to go ahead and get started. I kind of came in here hot, folks. So my name is Jules. For those of you, I haven't even looked at my screen yet to see who all is here. But for those of you who are here and don't know me, my name is Jules. And we are super happy to have you join us here tonight for our natural wellness workshop, because we have some really cool things to talk about. So there's a few things, though, that we want you to do as we get started. We just want you to kind of familiarize yourself with some things. And I also would like to encourage you to have some paper and a pen or a pencil so you can write down any comments or questions that you might have. We don't typically do a Q&A at the end of this workshop. We do have people in the chat who can answer questions if you want to pop them in there. But if you write them down on a piece of paper, if they weren't addressed within the chat, then you can always reach out to whoever invited you to this workshop and you can get those questions and comments answered or attended to. So have that piece of paper and a pen or a pencil so that you can write that kind of stuff down. And then also, we really want to honor your time with this workshop as much as we can. And it is typically about 45 minutes to an hour long. So we're going to try to stay on track with that. I tend to get a little bit wordy, so we're going to try and reel me in and stay on track so that we can honor your time and get you in and out of here within the next 45 minutes to an hour. And then I also want you to encourage you all to stay on until the very last, because of those of you who stay on throughout the whole workshop and get to the end of it, we have a wheel that we'll do that is a drawing wheel. And if you're new here, then you get a chance to win some really cool gifts that will be really supportive to your journey using natural solutions. So you want to stay on until the end. And then lastly is that I would like you all to familiarize yourself with the chat button. Now, I know everybody has different devices. On mine, I have to click on the top right-hand corner, and then I can see a chat feature. Some of you will see a chat feature at the bottom of your screen. So just click on that chat feature right now, if you will, because we'll use this throughout the workshop. But I want you all to familiarize yourself with it and just jump in there, introduce yourself, tell us who you are, where you're coming in from, and who invited you to the workshop. As for me, again, my name is Jules, and I am coming from really, really, really sunny and beautiful, but windy as crazy today, Discovery Bay, California. So let us know who you are, where you're coming from. Hey, Leslie, how are you? All right. So we're going to jump in and just get started. Hey, Tracy, good to see you. We're going to jump in and get started. So we want this to be as personalized to you as we can make it be. And that, without knowing everyone, this is really a great place to start. So I want you to take a look at this screen that you're seeing right now. And we want you to kind of assess your health or your family's health, because again, we want to personalize this to you so that we can make sure that we address some different things here. Comment in the chat as you look at that slide, which one of these numbered areas you need help in. For me, that would be number 2. I always have way too much inflammation in my body. It's getting better because I've been working on it for a long time. And then number 6, my sleep again is improving, but those are kind of my sticking points when I'm looking at my foundational health and my overall wellness. So I see a 6 from Leslie. I've seen some 2s pop in here. I've seen some 6s. You can see that this is kind of an all-encompassing, but we all jump into one of those categories or 1 or 2 of those categories. I think that you'll be really excited to find as we go on here that we have some options for you to use that are natural options that don't come with a bunch of side effects. So hang with us and we'll do what we can to show you what those solutions are. All right, first thing that we'll do is we'll look at a modern approach to symptoms and a modern approach to health, and we'll look at a natural approach, and we'll look at how different those 2 things are. So before we jump into that, I want to share a few studies with you. Our FDA, actually these are FDA numbers, our FDA estimates that 200,000 Americans are hospitalized every single year because of overdoses and side effects of NSAIDs. And an NSAID is a non-steroidal anti-inflammatory drug. So think Advil, think ibuprofen, even aspirin. So know that there are overdoses and hospitalizations, 200,000 of them a year, according to our FDA. There are also thousands of deaths per year. Even Tylenol, something that we give to babies, which is acetaminophen, is known to cause liver damage if we use too much of it. If you want to see those supporting studies, since I've just kind of thrown those numbers out at you, if you want to see those supporting studies, make note of it and let whoever invited you here know about that, because we have links to those so that you can see that that's not just me throwing out information, that there are actually supporting studies that show that. And it's really eye-opening when you take a look at them. So, excuse me, I share all of that before we even look kind of at these two approaches. I share it all because in the modern approach, we tend to turn towards pills and prescriptions as a primary solution to anything that comes up. Any physical problem or condition or symptom that comes up, we look for a pill or a prescription. That's just kind of the modern medicine way. And if we look at the dangerous side effects that come with that, it's pretty scary. Because of this approach, though, to take it even another level besides just being scary, because of this approach, the root problems or the actual cause of that symptom doesn't ever get looked at. So we basically just put a Band-Aid on it. And then we also have to step back and think, with that approach, we're spending in the US or globally a year, we spend $6.5 trillion on this approach. But you have to ask yourself, are you any healthier? But when we look at the natural approach, and I'm not saying that we don't need that medical approach or that conventional approach, but we can do something to support that and work with it. And outside of it, even with the natural approach. And this approach focuses on root causes, trying to find out what that symptom is stemming from, where it's coming from, why is our body doing that? And then we look at treating that or addressing that, supporting that with a plant-based approach, because our body recognizes plant sources. We are of nature. Nature is of us. So our body, excuse me, recognizes those plant sources and knows what to do with them. All right, so the next step that we need to look at is to look at what creates dis-ease or disease in the body. And there are three main things that cause that disease in our body. Number one is nutrient deficiency. Number two is inflammation. And number three is toxic overload. So when we look at what is at the core of our immune function, it's nutrition. It's 100% nutrition. When our nutrition buckets are empty, are filled, our bodies function optimally. Our bodies are just working like that well-oiled machine. We are designed to work beautifully. So when those nutrition buckets are empty, we suffer. And if you want to look at this slide right here, I want to call your attention just to a couple of things. And you can screenshot it if you want to look at all those percentages later. But according to the Environmental Working Group, that's who put this slide together and these numbers together, 95% of US adults are deficient in vitamin D. 94% are deficient in vitamin E, and 61% of us are deficient in magnesium. So basically what that says to me, and probably to you, is that our nutrition buckets aren't full. On the average, our nutrition buckets aren't full, and most of us don't have a great baseline health. And the results of those nutrition deficiencies or those buckets being empty are things like inflammation, headaches, lack of sleep, foggy thinking, just a lack of energy. You just don't have the energy to do things, or maybe even digestive issues. And most of us have had these kind of things for so long that we think that they're just normal. It's just normal for us, but it's not normal. There are things that we can do to improve that. And poor nutrition is the number one cause of poor health. So when we can work on that, we can improve that. All right, so now let's look at the second thing that we mentioned, which was inflammation. What are the biggest contributors of inflammation? Sugar is one of them. Hang on, I need a drink. I'm recovering from a cold, so I've got a cough going. Okay, I think I'm good. So when we look at what those biggest contributors are, sugar is probably number one. It's in everything. And so many of us reach for processed foods, quick foods, things like that. And if we're eating like that, then we're getting sugar and we're getting way too much of it. And that is causing a lot of the inflammation in our body. Stress and lack of sleep also causes inflammation. Toxins in our environment cause inflammation. And oils like vegetable oils, canola oil, etc. Those are industrial oils and they really aren't meant to be ingested. Our body really doesn't know what to do with them. So all of those cause inflammation. And here's the kicker. Chronic inflammation, so if you just have it all the time, and it may be normal for you, but if you have chronic inflammation, it is definitely linked. We know it is linked to things like autoimmune diseases like arthritis, cardiovascular diseases like high blood pressure and heart disease, gastrointestinal disorders, inflammatory bowel disease, headaches, metabolic diseases like type 2 diabetes, lung diseases like asthma, maybe, mental illness like depression, joint pain. The list really kind of goes on and on. But as I throw those out, for those of you who are new here and maybe hearing this for this first time, you're kind of having aha moments as to, oh my gosh, yeah, that's me. So that's our second thing that we look at. Third thing that we look at is toxic load to the body. And we look at this as a source for disease, or one of the sources for disease or dis-ease. And what that means is it refers to the chemicals in our body that build up from our environment, from processed foods, from pesticide use, and even from our personal care products. We need to really think about what's in us, what's on us, and what's around us. That's where toxic load comes from. The Product Safety Commission actually tested and found 150 cleaning chemicals that were linked to ADD, to asthma, to cancer, to reproductive problems, to respiratory problems, and more. And if any of you guys are sciencey and want to read a really good book about that, reach out to me or comment in the chat and I'll look when I'm finished here. I have a great read for you that was written by a doctor that is just mind-blowing on what toxins do to our bodies. So we can't always control what we come in contact with outside of our home, but we can definitely control what we bring into our home and what we put in us, on us, and around us. We have control over that. So now that I've dumped all of this kind of negativity on you and things that you might be dealing with and brought that all to the surface, I'm going to introduce my friend Ani, and Ani's going to help you look at some different solutions to solve some of these issues that I've just thrown at you. So Ani, take it away, my friend.
Thank you, Jules. Thank you. Hi, I'm Ani, and I have been with doTERRA since 2015. So last 8 years, I've learned a lot of things about our oils and our products, and I'm excited to talk about our next topic, which is our first health solution. However, before we do that, let's go to the chat feature once again. And who here takes or uses a supplement, whether it's a vitamin C, vitamin D, vitamin B? Maybe you could you take a multivitamin or an omega. If you take any kind of supplement, put that in the chat so we can kind of take a look. So we see Lifelong Vitality, which is our LLV, and others. Okay. D3. Okay, wonderful. I also take the LLV and I take a few of our other supplements. Okay, now let's take a quick peek at the supplement industry. A study by the FDA from 2007 to 2016 detected contaminants in 776 dietary supplements produced by 146 companies. Another study of 3 leading memory supplements found that 2 of them didn't even contain the active ingredient listed on that label. So the supplement industry is not heavily regulated. Products can contain lots of fillers and not much of the ingredients listed. If you have some reservations or hesitation as to whether a product would work or not, this information can supports your concerns. As we mentioned before, the supplement industry is not heavily regulated. Here's a story from one of our fellow wellness advocates whose son works in a health store. He told his mother that when a supplement on the shelf is tested and found to be missing an active ingredient listed on the label, the store has up to 9 months to remove that product from its shelves. That's very concerning because our standard American diet is deficient in most vitamins and nutrients. It is necessary to supplement to get our body what it needs to function properly at a baseline level. So let's make sure we are using safe and effective supplements. Ready to learn about that first health solution? doTERRA is known for its safe and effective oils. But did you know that the Lifelong Vitality supplements are doTERRA's best-selling products because they effectively address all the 3 diseases we just mentioned: nutrient deficiency, inflammation, and toxic overload. Think of it as the necessary foundation of your health house. In addition, this helps support the cleansing and filtering of our toxins. There are 3 supplements in line: a food nutrient, cellular repair, and your omegas. This line is our micronutrient. Lifelong Vitality fills the nutrient buckets in your body. It contains powerful antioxidants to help protect our DNA. It's made with whole food ingredients and 95% bioavailable for your body. The average supplement is about 20 to 30% bioavailable. This product has gotten more people off their over-the-counter prescription and drugs more than any other product that doTERRA sells. I want to invite Leslie, if you'd like, I'd like to invite you so you could share your testimonial.
Thanks, Ani. I've been in doTERRA 4 years full time, and I really never thought I would use Lifelong Vitality because my doctor is a medical doctor and also a holistic doctor. That when he takes, lab results and other results, other tests in his office, he usually provides me with the supplements that I need. But in December of 2023, something changed, and I wasn't feeling well at all. I walked into the urgent care with really high blood pressure, really high heart rate, over 100. I had excruciating back pain from the middle of my back up to my shoulders. And I finally got in to see my doctor, and he said, let's take some blood work. I said, okay. So we did, and the results came back in, and I've never had blood results like this, lab results like this. Since we're talking about inflammation, your C-reactive protein is something that indicates how much inflammation is in your body. That inflammation should be between 1 and 3 is normal. 3 is a high normal. Mine was at 300. So you can imagine, how shocked he was and I was. And he put me on prednisone, he put me on an antibiotic, he did some other things, and nothing was coming down. The results were either super high, low, or normal. And I thought in January, I was really getting tired. It was every 2 weeks getting blood work done. And I thought, okay, I got to do something. So I thought, you know what? Haley's told me to try Lifelong Vitality. Ani has told me to try Lifelong Vitality. Maybe I ought to try it. Well, I did. And he finally took another blood test towards the end of January. And I'd been on it about maybe a week and a half. And my lab results came back just a little bit better. Then later on, he did another blood test. Now I'd been on on Lifelong Vitality 6 weeks. And I thought, oh, I was just praying something good would happen. Well, at the 6-week mark, lo and behold, all those really high lab results came down to normal. The ones that were low came up to normal, and the ones that were normal stayed at normal. So, and that was the only thing that I had changed out of my entire diet, supplements, exercise. In fact, for a while, I couldn't even exercise. I couldn't go for a walk. I couldn't do anything. So now I had more energy. I was walking again. I was walking 2 to 3 to 4 miles a day, and I was walking at my normal gait. So I'm going to have to say Lifelong Vitality really does work. So give it a go and see what it does for you.
Thank you so much, Leslie. I appreciate you sharing that.
Sure.
Is Candace on? Does she want to share, or I'm not sure, or maybe one is enough. I don't see. Okay, let's move on. Now I'd like to invite you to take a look at this next slide. Okay, so you'll see some interesting statistics here. These clinical trial results are based on blood work taken before and after subjects took doTERRA's Lifelong Vitality supplements for 2 months while continuing their normal diet and exercise habits. This is the difference that can be experienced when you begin taking bioavailable nutrient-dense supplements like LLV. I consider, and many of us consider LLV as part of our food budget and would urge you to do the same. It's less than a cup of coffee at your favorite coffee place. If you purchase it through our customer rewards program, our LRP, you also get points for future products for free. Let's focus on gut health specifically. Next slide, please. Okay. Lifelong Vitality paired with PB Restore and Terrazyme is our highest recommendation. The gut plays a vital role in our overall health and well-being. Often called our second brain, the gut is vital in everything from our weight to our immune function and to our mental wellness. doTERRA's PB Restore complex is patented dual capsule delivery system. Its unique formulation of 30 pre, pro, and postbiotics that help restore microbial diversity and balance for optimal microbiome health. It's a unique dual encapsulation delivery system. It protects the sensitive probiotic cultures from stomach acid, delivering it safely and effectively into our gut. The 18 billion colony forming units, CFUs, of probiotics or good bacteria consists of 24 active cultures. It's an unparalleled variety of carefully selected strains from 22 different species for exceptional microbial diversity. It maintains healthy intestinal microflora balance, supports our healthy digestive and immune function, as well as our GI tract, especially intestines and our colon. It supports our optimal metabolism and food absorption. In simple terms, you have a healthy microbiome. When you have a healthy microbiome with good bacteria, the bad bacteria has a harder time doing its dirty work. Terrazyme is doTERRA's digestive enzyme. It includes a variety of whole food enzymes that help with digestion. Can be taken with every single meal. It supports healthy digestion and metabolism and the conversion of food nutrients to cellular energy. It promotes gastrointestinal comfort and food tolerance. And also 10 active food enzymes. Next, I would like to invite Tracy to go over the next topic.
Thanks, Ani. I'm Tracy, and I'm in northeastern Nevada, where we've had wind all day long and it's cold, and we're supposed to get down to 29 tonight. So we get to cover everything, our gardens, bring our flowers in. So yay for cold weather. All right, time for a little interaction. We're heading into the second section of our workshop, and I want to make sure you're with me. So find your chat feature. And what percentage has diabetes increased since the 1960s? What do you think? 25%? Too much? 98%? Okay, it's 700%. Mind-blowing. How long does it take the average American to consume the same amount of sugar that our ancestors from 200 years ago would consume in a year? What do you think? 5 weeks, a week? It takes 2 weeks. Only 6.8% of the population have optimal cardiometabolic health. That means that 93% of Americans do not have optimal cardiometabolic health. The MetaPower system was specifically designed to tackle poor cardiometabolic health. This is your macronutrient line. It pairs beautifully with Lifelong Vitality, our micronutrient line, and the MetaPower line does 3 things. It addresses cellular repair that leads to aging, it addresses blood sugar regulation, and it supports the inhibiting of fat absorption into your cells. Let's talk about lifespan and health span. While we can't do anything about our chronological age, we can do something about our metabolic age. The average American spends the last 14 years of their life in a state of declining health and difficulty completing everyday tasks. What if we could be empowered to change that? The MetaPower system is the first and only system that synergistically supports a healthy metabolism. It curbs your cravings, sustains normal range glycemic and insulin response evenly throughout the day, and it naturally promotes cellular energy. Those using this line have reported improvements in their eyesight, energy, pain, neuropathy, sleep, skin and hair growth, your mood, mobility, and your strength. Before we get into too many details of MetaPower, let's look at a few of the benefits in these before and afters. The young lady at the top has been using MetaPower for 4 months. She's had amazing results, specifically with improvements on her face, eyes, and her hair. The gentleman on the bottom left experienced improved skin elasticity, darker hair growth. He got his blood work taken after 3 weeks on the MetaPower, and this is what it showed. A 40-point decrease in cholesterol, 25-point decrease in his LDL, and 57-point decrease in his triglycerides. On the right, you see a 58-year-old woman who has red spots on her arms. Anytime she bumped herself, they would appear. Doctors biopsied and said it just happens when you get older. After using MetaPower for just 3 months, the spots are totally gone. And she's seen other changes too. She's lost 60 pounds. She has thicker hair. Her nails are growing, and she has a lower A1C. I want to highlight one of my favorite products. It's the MetaPower Advantage. This is doTERRA's collagen. Unlike any other on the market, this product includes 9 types of collagen, over 70% tripeptides, so your body absorbs it 12 times more than other collagens. A peptide is simply a large protein chain. too large for your body to break down and use for its full benefit. When it's broken down into tripeptides, simply smaller protein chains, the body can absorb and utilize them in their entirety. Advantage comes in small packets with freeze-dried collagen and other nutrients to mix in 4 to 6 ounces of cool or cold water. It promotes healthy biological aging and improves health span by helping aging cells. It activates longevity genes. It improves cognitive function, supports lean muscle and connective tissue. It improves skin density, elasticity, and firmness. If you love science and knowing how and why these products work, ask your wellness advocate to send our deep dive recordings for lifelong vitality and MetaPower. And I'm going to have my friend Jules give you her testimony on using Advantage.
Thanks, Tracy. I could talk about Advantage all day long. And those of you who know me know that, because it is really, it's hard to pick a favorite product with doTERRA, but this product has made a tremendous impact, positive impact on my life. So way back in 1998, I'll condense this, make this a Reader's Digest condensed version, but back in 1998, I had always dealt with excess inflammation in my body. And then kind of in 1998, my body literally, in my terms, derailed. I went to bed one night thinking, holy cow, my neck hurts so bad. And I woke up at about 4 the next morning on my back, and my head was tilted just off to the side, a little bit like this. And I was hurting so bad, but I couldn't, because I was hurting so bad, I could not bring my head from here to here. I couldn't take my hands and lift them up and push my head over. Every movement was excruciating pain for me. And I laid in bed and just cried until my daughter, who was 8 years old at the time, woke up at 6 o'clock in the morning, which is the time we generally got up. And she woke up on her own and thought, why isn't mom getting up? She came in to check on me. And I had to ask my 8-year-old to climb up on the bed and push my head back that 1.5 inches or so. I was in such distress that it took me 2 years to come out of that, and a lot of testing, Mayo Clinic trips, all the things. And they came up with the fact that I was dealing with an autoimmune diagnosis, and it's an inflammatory process that I just deal with, and I go into flares and all the things. Well, from that point on, I really started kind of biohacking my way. Biohacking wasn't a term back then, but that's really what I started doing. I started really looking at what I could do nutritionally, what I could do to help my body feel better. And I was already using essential oils. doTERRA wasn't a thing back then, so I wasn't using doTERRA oils, but I was using everything I could get my hands on. I was working with some really, really intelligent, smart doctors, well-educated naturopaths, applied kinesiologists, chiropractors, functional med docs. Again, that wasn't a thing back then, but there were people who were practicing like that. And I just started really working on limiting the inflammation in my body. And I'd gotten to where it was pretty manageable. I was doing really well with it. And I thought, this is it. This is what I have. Well, then collagen came on the scene about 4 or 5 years ago. And my guy, James, and I are both kind of biohackers. He's got a degree in chiropractic. And he and I started using collagen. And I hadn't noticed any real big difference, but I knew from the science of collagen that it was going to be really helpful. So I kept taking it. And then 2 years ago, doTERRA launched collagen at convention. And I was not exaggerating. I was on the edge of my seat, excited and just leaning into every word that was being shared about this new collagen advantage that they were giving us. Because number one, it was in that tripeptide form that Tracy was talking about. And both James and I knew that that tripeptide form was going to make a huge difference in absorbability for our bodies. And I was super excited about what it was going to do for me, for my joints and for my soft tissues, my ligaments. And so the day it was announced, I bought my kit at convention, got straight into it, opened a package of collagen, and took it. And I have been taking 2 a day from that day, 2 years ago, September 15th, 2022. And I have noticed that I have had exponential improvement in that chronic inflammation in my body. I will not go a day without it. I take it every morning. It's how I break my fast. And then at night before I go to bed, I take another one. And it has just helped me so very much. I will never go a day without it. So there you go.
Thanks, Jules. Okay, now we're changing direction and heading down the road to oils. doTERRA is mostly known for their essential oils, so we need to look at why they lead the world in this area. And now my friend Sarah is going to take over.
Thanks, Tracy. Hi guys, my name is Sarah Collins. I'm here in Casper, Wyoming, and the weather's been crazy here too. We're gonna have to cover our garden. I don't know what's going on. Like there's something going on. I swear the world is ending. Just kidding. Anyway, all right, so we are going to go ahead and transition, and I'm gonna be writing the slides too, so we'll see how I can do that. It's called multitasking. All right, so as you guys can see in this study, this independent study, doTERRA oils were found to be therapeutically relevant in cell growth and rejuvenation. I'm just going to start over. Let's just start over. Okay, let's just clean the slate. You guys didn't hear any of that. Rejuvenation, metabolic health, and healthy inflammatory responses. Essential oils from different competitors had minimal effects. They concluded that the therapeutic potential of essential oils is highly dependent on the complete composition of the oil. Sourcing, processing, and characterization are very critical. You'll find 2 articles about the Roseman University and the work they have done on essential oils in the resource file that your wellness advocate can share with you. So just ask them for that. I want you to put a yes in the chat if you would like that resource. All right, let's move on to my favorite part. This is why I really dove in, because I have little ones. So when an oil is truly pure, they do not include fillers. There are no synthetic ingredients and there's no dilution. Independent lab tests show that the majority of brands available to consumers aren't pure. I can post the link to that study at the end of class if you guys would like. doTERRA sources their oils from plants grown in their ideal environments. This makes all the difference for the chemical profile and the therapeutic effectiveness of the oil. Every batch of doTERRA oil is tested for ideal chemistry and consistency so that our oils do what we expect them to do. Over 54 tests are done on each batch of doTERRA oils, from the farmer to the consumer. Our doTERRA oils can be used topically, aromatically, and generally internally. People turn to doTERRA because they want safe, affordable, and effective solutions for their family's health. So let's look at what that means exactly. May look for safe and effective solutions that don't have dangerous side effects of the risk of addiction. We just mentioned independent lab tests show that 80 to 90% of the oils on the market have contaminants and synthetic markers. So we suggest never ingesting another brand. doTERRA recognized that the essential oil industry didn't have a standard for purity, the ensured safety. So they created a new standard, CPTG, which means Certified Pure Tested Grade, to raise the bar throughout the essential oils industry, and they've done just that. This standard is beyond organic and includes significant testing that isn't cheap. doTERRA will invest to ensure that you have the most effective, safest products because that is what's best for you. So many doTERRA oils are safe to ingest. So many of doTERRA oils are safe to ingest. If it can be ingested, it will have a food grade label on the bottle. So it's going to have that nutritional facts on the bottle. So let's go ahead and look at the girls with the burns on their chest to the right. These 2 sisters were spending the night at their grandma's house. We would call her Nana. They were used to putting doTERRA lavender on their chest just before bed to help them relax and go to sleep. Many of you guys probably do that with your kids. Grandma was out of doTERRA lavender. She used a backup from another company in her cabinet that she had bought at a health food store and figured it's just lavender, so it should work. The girls ended up with chemical burns with scars almost a year later. I'm not saying this will be your reaction with other essential oils. However, it is important that you understand the risks. doTERRA oils are safe to use at any age, from newborn babies to great-grandma. Brand matters for safety. And we have a class on kids and babies on Tuesday, so you guys need to come and join that sometime. I almost said next slide. I'm talking to myself. All right, so let's look at affordability and effectiveness next. Believe it or not, affordability is one reason people turn to doTERRA. Oils are 50 to 70 times more potent than herbs. This means a little goes a long way. So let's illustrate that. Using the chat feature, I want you to make a guess. A recent test of Costco peppermint oil showed that it was not 100% peppermint oil. How much peppermint is in the Costco peppermint oil bottle? All right, lay it on me. 50, 6, 1 drop. I like that, Leslie. Just 10%, you guys. So when you use a doTERRA CPTG oil, you get 100% of the oil, making it much cheaper than other options that may be diluted. So some fun facts about affordability. You guys know, I like the funness of things. Each 50 milliliter bottle has 250 drops of essential oil in it. 1 dose equals 1 to 2 drops. On average, it's about $1 or less for treatment. Here's an essential oil tip when you are treating any kind of infection, disease or ailment. It is always better to use less oil more frequent throughout the day. This is my favorite. So using 8 drops of oil on a wound at one time will not be more effective than using 1 drop of oil on a wound every 2 to 3 hours throughout the day. So I want you to use less more frequently. Effectiveness. This is one of my favorite microbiology lessons. For our scientists in this workshop, we do know this is a little very simplified lesson. So here we go. Our body is made up of cells. Each cell is surrounded by an oily cell membrane intended to protect it. It keeps the good in and the bad out. So when I teach my class, I call this my little cell. When you have a bacterial infection, I want you to look at that green blob. You can get an antibiotic to help you because the bacteria grows on the outside of that cell. So viruses are different though, and they proliferate on the inside of the cell. Essential oils, unlike most modern medicine, can penetrate that cell membrane because it's oily cell membrane and help stop the duplication of a virus and support your immune system to heal faster. When you have essential oils on hand, you can begin to support the healing of your body immediately instead of paying that copay and waiting to see a doctor. And now I want to introduce my beautiful friend, Leslie.
Thanks, Sarah. So let's talk about oils that can support your immune system, such as oregano, tea tree, On Guard, and frankincense. Here's my keychain that I carry the oils in wherever I go. So if I need something, I've got it. So let me talk about one of the oils in the immune support that I love the most, and that would be On Guard. On Guard is the protector. It is a natural immune defense, and everyone should have On Guard either on them, around them, or as part of their medicine cabinet. It stops the growth of viruses and bacteria. When diffused, it cleans the air of airborne pathogens. It soothes sore throats and can help knock it out. I love to put On Guard in water, just about ½ inch of water, a little bit over, and then gargle with it, and it clears it right up. And the key is, though, to use it frequently right away. So worth it to avoid getting sick for a week. Now let's talk about medicine cabinet basics. Imagine a medicine cabinet filled with safe and effective oils such as lavender, lemon, peppermint, digestin, and brie. And these oils are safe and effective without addictive properties or side effects that will have you ready at a moment's notice to address life's little emergencies. Here are but a few medicine cabinet basics. So I have in my keychain another one of my favorite oils, and that is brie. Brie, you will use this for everything respiratory. You can use it for sinus infections, asthma, snoring, and congestion, whether it's in your nasal passages or in your throat. You can use Breathe with that nagging cough and difficulty breathing. It will help clear the congestion so you can breathe better. And for any kind of respiratory distress, this is a must-have. Diffuse it at night for a more restful sleep or to help reduce snoring. Or use it before a workout to open airways and increase your stamina. I love to use Breathe in my diffuser at night with other oils, or if it's during the day and I'm out and about, I put a drop in my hand, rub my palms together, and put it over my nose as a hand diffuser. I breathe in and out 3 times, and it really opens those nasal passages. Or if I'm trying to clear congestion from my throat, I take it just like you would an inhaler and breathe in this way, and it clears the congestion in my throat so it feels a lot better. Now let's look at pain and inflammation. We learned at the beginning of this workshop the impact of how inflammation causes disease. doTERRA has safe, effective, and non-addictive tools. The oils and products on the screen are some favorites to address pain and inflammation. Let's take our Deep Blue line. It is a must-have for muscle and joint health. Not only does it relieve pain and tension, the amazing oils in it support muscle, joint, and bone healing. It alleviates back pain. When you have a nasty bruise forming, grab your Deep Blue to stop it in its tracks. The Deep Blue stick has copaiba in it, and it's easy to apply without getting any on your hands. Something else for pain and inflammation is copaiba. Layered with another oil, it increases that oil's effectiveness. When you really need to boost pain relief, this is what you're going to use with your Deep Blue. If you suffer from any emotional strain, such as anxiety or depression, this oil can calm and soothe. It supports all of the major body systems, which includes your nerves, your heart, your respiratory, your immune system, and your skin. It can be really helpful for those who have ADD or ADHD, and it is our CBD replacement. Let's wrap up our oil section with oils to support your mood and emotions, such as balance, adaptive, and serenity. For those of you who indicated at the beginning that you or someone in your family deals with heightened emotions or those very low lows, these are great options to consider. So I'm going to talk about one of my favorites, and that's Serenity. Serenity is a calm and helpful for sleep. It may help you fall asleep more easily and sleep more deeply. Lots of people swear by this. Also, it's helpful for anxiety and stress. I use Serenity during the day. I apply it to my pulse points. I apply it over my heart. Sometimes I even apply it in the back of my neck, and it just calms me down if I'm having one of those anxious or stressful days. At night, yes, I do use it to sleep, and I love diffusing it with other oils. It's fantastic. It gets me to sleep quickly, and I do a much better job sleeping throughout the night. So give all these oils a go. I think you'll enjoy them. I'd like to turn back over to Jules. Take it away, Jules.
Thanks so much, Leslie. Serenity is one of my faves too, and I know Ani just popped it in the chat that she uses it, and I know Ani uses it as a personal fragrance. I diffuse it every night with my Shinrin Yoku in my diffuser. So it's an oil that is always by my bedside. So that was a great oil to choose. Thanks for sharing. Okay, so I got to be honest with you guys as we wrap this up. When I started using doTERRA oils, I never in a million years thought that I would be sharing it, that I would be building doTERRA as a business. I simply had been using oils for, at that point in time, 30 years. And when a client of mine brought in a little bottle of Deep Blue and introduced me to doTERRA, and I opened that bottle and I smelled it, I went, oh my gosh, this is something so different than anything I've ever used. And then as I started to use that during her session, doing the body work that I was doing on her, I noticed that her tissues were responding differently underneath my hands. And I went, this is something big. I need to have my hands on every single oil so that I can incorporate this into my practice. And that's exactly what I did. I went home that night, I sent her a text, and I got my account and I started buying and replacing all the oils that I typically used. I got rid of them and I started replacing them all with doTERRA oils. And that is all I have used since that day, November 14th, 2014, are doTERRA oils. I literally, you can't find another brand in my house or in my practice. So I didn't look at it, though, that I was ever going to build a business with it. It was simply going to be something that I continued to incorporate and use in my practice. Well, then fast forward a few years, my body, after 30 years of massage, said, no more. We can't do this anymore. We can't do rehab work anymore. We can't do hours and hours of massage anymore. We're done. And so I closed my practice, and then I started thinking, well, now what do I do with my time? What do I do? And doTERRA offered me that vehicle that I could build a business, create an income, but most importantly, that I could continue to do what I had loved doing for the prior 30 years, which was helping people feel better in their bodies. And doTERRA allowed me the vehicle to do that. So it's allowed me to continue to make a difference in people's lives, a positive difference in people's lives in a significant way. It's allowed me to continue to build an income. It's allowed me time flexibility, which I absolutely love, because having been self-employed for 30 years, I wasn't about to go punch a time clock again. I'm just not cut out to do that. So doTERRA offered me that option to continue to create my own time flexibility and create my own schedule. And then outside of all of that, I got this bonus of these friendships that I've created through doTERRA. Leslie's on here, Annie's on here. You've heard Haley speak, you've heard Tracy speak. I would not have known any of these women had it not been for doTERRA. We don't live near one another. We don't do anything socially that would put us in the same circles, but doTERRA brought us together. And it has been an incredible way for me as an introvert to form new and really meaningful friendships. And I would not change it for the world. It has just been everything around that for me. So if that is any of those things or anything that we shared tonight, get something going in your brain and makes you think, I want to know more about this. If it sparked something in you, just reach out to whoever invited you to this class and have a conversation with them. This is all about creating those connections, helping people feel better in their body, helping you yourself feel better in your body, and then creating those friendships as well. So make sure that you reach out and get all the information that you need, get your questions asked or answered. And that's what we're here for. We're here to make sure that you understand what you actually have in the palms of your hands if you'll just take it, receive it, and run with it. So that's what I have to say about that. And for those of you who are new here, if you've seen the keychain that Leslie held up, and I happen to have one right here, all of us who use oils have at least probably 3 or 4 of these keychains. I know I've got all different ones everywhere in my house, in my car. They're all around because I don't travel without my oils. And once you start using them, you will find that you don't travel without them either. So if you want to know how to get one of these, host a class. Host a class. It can be online. It can be in person. Reach out to whoever invited you and get that set up. Get on their schedule and invite some friends over. And it doesn't have to be a big gathering. It can be 1 person. It can be 5 people. It can be 10 people. It doesn't matter. Just get these oils on people and around people, and you will notice what a difference it makes. And for every person that you bring, you're going to get a free oil. So that's how you fill up your keychain, by getting people to your workshop, to your class, and letting us do the work, letting us teach that for you. And then pretty soon you'll be teaching your own, and you'll be able to fill all kinds of keychains for all kinds of people. So let whoever invited you here know about that, you're ready to do that. And then the next thing we're going to do is we're going to talk about this survey. Sarah just popped it up on the screen there. You can screenshot that little QR code. And Julie also just popped it in the chat. I saw it pop up there. There's a little survey right there to a Google form. If you could please go in and fill that out. If you're new here, fill that out, that little form. It'll take just minutes, just a couple of minutes to fill it out while I'm just here yakking, and just submit that. And that will help whoever invited you here. They can then look at that form, and they can know much quicker how they can proceed with you and get your questions answered and get you the tools that you need and that you're interested in. So take a few minutes to fill out that survey, if you will, and just submit it. And then when you're finished, just jump back into the chat and just type the word done. And that's all we need to see, is that you've completed that. It's just there's just a few questions there. Perfect. I see some dones popping up. Thank you so much. Appreciate that. And whoever invited you will be reaching out to you to go over that survey with you to make sure that you get what you need and what you're interested in. Okay. Now, since we have a couple dones in the chat, let's go ahead and go. Those of you who aren't finished, go ahead and finish. But now we're going to move on to our giveaway. And Bobby is here. She's our master wheel spinner. Bobby's got names on, Bobby has names on a wheel, and she's going to spin, and we'll find out who wins those free gifts that we talked about at the very beginning of class. So Bobby, it's all you.
And so, yeah, we miss Vicki Wood and all the music with the drum roll, but I've got everybody in the wheel, and I'm going to press the wheel and go, yeah, drum roll, everybody. Da 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 da. And the winner is Connie Hoffman. I believe, is that Hoffman or Huffman? One of those. 307-851-1261. So congratulations, Connie.
Thank you.
You will be getting some really good information from the person that invited you today. I believe it's a couple different ebooks, and it's super great. I don't encourage anybody to print those because they're really big and take a lot of ink. But you can save them, download them, and get back to them anytime. So congratulations, Connie.
That's awesome. Congratulations, Connie. Connie is in our Up Level 21 challenge too. So that's pretty fun. Way to go, Connie. I love it. Okay, so we've covered a lot of ground tonight, you guys. Hopefully you've been encouraged to look at doTERRA a little deeper, look at all the different options and benefits that doTERRA can bring to you and your life and your family and your wellness. And so within the next 48 hours or so, your wellness advocate who invited you will reach out to you and just go over everything with you, touch base, get your questions answered, all those things. And we just want you to know that you're not alone in this journey. Once you start down this road with doTERRA, with our team, with our group, you are hooked into a whole bunch of us that really just want to help you not only make your life better, but help other people's lives be better as well. And I always like to say, just help you feel better in your body. And we all can do that for someone else, not just for ourselves. So if you scan this QR code that is in front of you right now on the screen, this is where you will be tied into all the different things that we do. We have a Monday night class every Monday, this Zoom room at 5:30. We have a Tuesday night class every Tuesday, this Zoom room at 5:30. That's Pacific time, 5:30. So your time zone factor from there. But we are always here on Mondays and Tuesdays. And then we also, in the same Zoom room, have a class on Wednesday that is not recorded, that is just, we call it table talks, and you just get to sit down and get your questions answered and really talk about things just like you would if you were sitting across the kitchen table with me and we were really trying to deep dive into what might be best for you. It's really a great place to just be able to speak freely and not worry about being recorded or showing your face or any of those things. So know that you can hook into any of that at any time, and we're all here to help you. You are not on this journey alone. So that's what we have for you. Thanks so much for attending our workshop tonight. And I think we're good. You're welcome, Dixie. Thanks for coming.